Was that okay or no? I don't know what I was See you at the report launch. No, this one looks like gun.
Yeah. Hi.
Salam.
A good day to everyone.
The National Anti-Corruption Strategy, which was released in 2024. So this is the continuation of the government's kind of entire approach to combating corruption that follows from the National Anti-Corruption Plan of 2019 to 2023. To cut a long story short, the NACS kind of waters down a few of the commitments that were initially made in the NACP, while also reintroducing some old commitments that seem to have been forgotten by the government. So it's kind of a mixed bag type of situation. But overall, it's just really interesting to see how the administration that has heralded itself as this stalwart anti-corruption defender has in effect watered down a lot of the commitments that were made just 5-6 years ago.
In terms of migrant workers and refugees, we do have updates on social protection, especially for migrant workers and refugees. We covered quite a bit on global standards, which was not covered previously, and so that sort of gave the context for trying to understand the situation of migrant workers and refugees in Malaysia. There was mandatory contribution of SOCSO for migrant workers, EPF, which was announced in October to be in effect in 2025. And for refugees, it was mostly on financial inclusion. One is the insurance called Remedy, which now the refugees are entitled for, and they can actually go and seek medical services at a government hospital. The other one is Touch and Go. They are now able to subscribe to Touch and Go if they have their UNCHR card.
There is a huge shift in terms of legislative, constitutional, and as well as the social developments in country, because now we have heard terms such as the 3R being mentioned and how it affects social cohesion as a whole. Therefore, in this chapter, you will see how different incidents stimulate different sections of the societies and how society respond in the whole. We also see as well there's a balance in terms of constitutional protections and the expansions of power of religious authority. You will see how different stakeholders of different positions still striving to achieve a balance between the religious authority as well as the constitutional respect for human rights.
A lot of the reforms that the government has promised when it comes to improving governance and combating corruption in Malaysia are still in the process of development. Obviously, when it comes to reforms of that scale and complexity, you do need to develop it over time and in consultation with all relevant stakeholders. So the fact that the government was taking necessary care and diligence to develop them, I felt was a good sign. 2024, we kind of see the same thing somewhat, in the sense that a lot of the major reforms that have been promised, such as the separation of the offices of the Attorney General and Public Prosecutor, the introduction of a Freedom of Information Act, introduction of a Public Procurement Act, all of these things are still in the process of development. Amendments to the Audit Act were introduced in order to grant the Auditor General more expanded powers in terms of exercising financial oversight over government and government-linked bodies. There was a few administrative directives or circulars introduced in order to kind of govern the appointment of leadership to government-linked companies as well as federal statutory bodies a little more. With that said, there are still limitations. For example, with the directives for GLC appointments, they still expressly allow for the appointment of politicians to boards of directors for GLCs, which inherently encourages patronage politics, risk of conflict of interest, etc., etc. So it's very much like a one step forward, two steps back type situation. But it is what it is.
In 2024, we did not see a lot of news on job scam. However, we still find that there are issues that are lingering. For example, we have not seen any action taken against the perpetrators, whether it's investigation or whether it's the judicial process. That's very slow in terms of reform. It's not just progress, but also like how fast can all of this be done in terms of ensuring the health and well-being of these different communities. So the other issues, for example, the ILO recruitment fee. In all of these different workshops, meetings that we have gone, everybody is talking about recruitment fee, zero recruitment fee, employer paid principals and stuff like that, but we have not seen any progress in terms of action.
Compared to 2023, 2024 observed a rising attentions on the proposed legislative changes. We witnessed that there has been discussions on the Mufti Federal Territories Bills as well as the proposed amendments to IUU 355. These two acts haven't really been materialized yet, whether it's a new proposal or any form of amendments, right? So we already witnessed there's intentions to expand the religious authorities over the common life of every citizen in Malaysia. Another aspect is that there has been some prominent judicial decisions on cases involving unilateral conversions and also state amendments, how to balance the human right of citizen in the state or even as a Malaysian. Lastly, there has also been numbers of development within the society where an issue was escalated to 3R related issues.
Social justice, equally deserving rights for migrant workers and refugees.
We hope to see government as well as the civil society organizations put more focus on non-punitive approaches to resolve conflict. In 2024, we already saw a lot of issues being escalated, and it really took away a lot of social harmony and social cohesion from our communities. We also hope that the system of this country still prioritize constitutional protections to protect every citizen from potential overreach of power from any authorities.
The window of opportunity for this administration's ability to actually push through the reforms, particularly towards the institutions and the systems that allow for corruption to be perpetrated and perpetuated, is narrowing. I hope that laws get passed, and I hope that civil society and academia are given the space, the platform, the opportunity to contribute more substantively to the development of reform in Malaysia in pursuit of a better nation for all.
That's all from us. See you at the report launch.
Okay.